we're back in the master bathroom. For those of you who are new with us, hit that like and subscribe. No, for those of you who are new with us, this is our 1932 federal style mansion, and we've owned it for 3 years. We've been constantly renovating and remodeling it. The room that we're in now was originally a sewing room. There was a door here, which we moved to there, and we are making it our amazing transformed master bathroom. All right, guys, we are getting really close to being done. So we have all this grouted and cleaned off, and all we have left to do now is the floor and this little cubby here. And we are gonna do that yet tonight, and we're gonna mark grouting off of our list of things to do. So we're gonna do that tonight, and we'll be done. I'm using a margin float to get in the cubby. It would be impossible to get any of that otherwise. So it's still kind of tough with this, but we're making it work. So we want this grout to be firm to the touch, but not like super firm where you can't press down. Just like a medium firm. If you wait too long, the grout will be kind of crusty. You won't be able to smooth it out at all. But if you do it too soon, you'll wipe away too much of the grout. Good morning. So we are kind of at a standstill on the shower until I need to get this built-in built, and there's gonna be a vanity here that needs to be built and an armoire then in this corner, and all that stuff needs to be built. And then I have quartz, the countertop that's gonna be templated, and they're gonna come and template the curb and then the shelf also in the shower. So really the next step in here is actually going to take place in the basement. So that's what we're working on today. One of the things that's going to make the production of the vanity and armoire and everything a lot easier is to have a nice outfeed table and assembly table. So we're going to build that. This is the design that I came up with here, and so we went ahead and went in old school and drafted it all out, and then also created a cut list for everything. So we broke down a couple sheets of our MDF for our outfeed table, and today we have a couple more to break down. So there's those guys there and those guys there, and then we'll be ready for assembly. This showed us how to cut all the sheets down. It also tells us what our waste is. So like this panel here was actually 40% waste. So I did not do a great job planning this out to maximize space on our sheets, but it gives us numbers for each part, and that's actually going to help us out with our assembly. So I went ahead and, like our IKEA furniture that we always get, went ahead and labeled each one with what it is. So there we go. We have it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna assemble it, and it's gonna be awesome. So I made a mistake and cut a bunch of these legs too short. I just had the board in the wrong direction and cut a bunch of them like a 1/4 inch too short. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually, so I have these guys, and they're designed to kind of slide in on the bottom, and I just cut twice as many of those, and so we'll cap it on the bottom and then we'll cap it on the top, and we'll just cut the rest of the legs down to be 3/4 of an inch shorter than the design, and it'll be just fine. So if I have a bunch of repetitive stuff to cut, one of the things I'll do is I'll use the fence, and then I'll take a piece of scrap and just clamp it to the fence, and then set my fence back like another 3/4 of an inch to make up for that thickness. That way you get a nice repetitive cut, and you don't have to measure each one. So that works pretty slick. You don't want the wood scrap to come all the way out to where the saw blade is, because then you could have some binding between the blade, the fence, and the miter, and you don't want that. So that's what you do with that. Gives room in case there was something to bind. You know, there's this space here so that it shouldn't bind. Alright guys, so these are going to be the feet, so the bottom of the legs here, we still need to edge band, but I marked the center location, and we're going to put in some inserts so that we can have some leveling feet to be able to level the table to the height that we need it to be. Alright, we'll go ahead and start assembling these legs. Alright, so I'm using DAP's Dynagrip on the areas where the melamine is. It's similar to liquid nails. And then for the spots where the wood is on the wood, I'm using a PVA type of glue. This is Tight Bond 3, their ultimate wood glue. So I'll stick these guys right there, and this one can go here. And I just work on folding the thing up. Bloop. Bloop. So the battery died, and I have no idea where we left off, but this is where we're at now, and I am regretting the decision of making this out of melamine because of that right there. Basically the pocket hole screws, which I kind of questioned their strength to begin with, was a bad idea. I mean, it just broke. I think if I was to do this again, I would go either plywood or solid lumber. And I'm kicking myself for not doing that now, but this is where we're at. I
I also noticed that it wasn't very like sturdy, and I think that's something that you want in a outfeed table. So I remedied that by grabbing all these L straps and putting L straps on every corner, which is where we're at right now. I need to do L straps on this corner and that corner still, and then fix that board, and then put the stringers across, put on the top and the bottom, and we should be pretty good to go. But one thing did work good. It was this outlet strip fit in here just perfectly, and I love it. Like, that's the one thing that went right and worked awesome. Okay, so these guys here, I have to actually drill this hole above it on that one too. That way when we put these on, you know, here, if I just left the hole where it was, it would actually run into that bolt. So we're gonna move the hole up, and that way it'll miss that bolt going through, and all should be good. So we have 1, 2, and then 2 on that side to go, and then we are done with these L straps, and we can get back on track with the project. We have the corner brackets on, and it looks pretty good. And I mean, it's like solid this way, you know, so there's no give or flex going like as you're pushing and pulling. I started putting the bottom on, and I realized that these cross members are definitely not going to work for the top. Like, it's hard to see, but there's, you know, just on this guy, there's probably half an inch of deflection there, and I'm not putting a ton of weight on it, you know, but I'm not too worried about it on the bottom because I can always brace up underneath it. And if I was to do it over again, I probably would not use the melamine, definitely not for supports. I don't know what I was thinking, but I don't know, we learn. So the top, trying to figure that out. I don't know if I'm going to do like hardwood to try and eliminate that deflection, or get some unistrut and mount some unistrut up here. I don't know. I don't really want to put any more money into it. So I went through my scraps, and I have some red oak, and I have some hickory, and I'm going to put the red oak on the inside of this guy, and then the stringers I'm going to run across this way, and I will use that as, I'll use a hickory for that, and that should give it plenty of strength, so I shouldn't have to worry about any give or deflection in the tabletop as we work on it. Okay, I have all these rails done. So we have the red oak on the inside of these rails, and I did all 4 sides, and we're getting ready to cut the 8/4 hickory. So 8/4 is a measurement, so it goes in 1/4 inch increments. So this would be a 4/4 here, because its thickness is actually 1 inch. And then they jump up to, you could get a 6/4, which would be 1.5 inches. You could then get an 8/4, which is 2 inches, and so on and so forth. Anyway, so we're getting ready to rip the hickory down, but I'm starting to feel really good. I'm starting to feel really good about this. Like, the thing's solid. I mean, it's not going anywhere that I know of. And now that I lined it with the hardwood, I think it's going to be a really good outfeed table and just general workbench for us. And it's something that we've been needing for a long time, and I've just been putting it off and putting it off. But with me needing to build the vanity and the armoire coming up in probably another few episodes, I needed a good work surface to be able to work on those things. So that's what we're doing, and we're gonna get to that right now. Good morning. So woke up early and cleaned up all the mess from this project, and it's done. It looks awesome. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I do need to cut in this groove for my miter, and that's it. We are ready for the next project, which is today.